Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming to you guys today with another video. Today's video, man, we are starting it off with the Lions training camp. Finally here, day one. It's official. Training camp has started. Everybody has reported. 2024 season has begun. No pads for today. It is a 4-day camp with no pads. Starting today, obviously Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Full pads on Monday. And let's get to the news, man. But first off, guys, that's where I get my stuff from. I follow a lot of guys, obviously, on Twitter, X, that they call it, social media. A lot of beat writers, Detroit Lions beat writers. John Macaron, great guy to get information from. I've actually done a couple podcasts with him. Tim Twentyman, Jeremy Reisman, Eric Schlitt. The list goes on and on. Even Justin Rogers, and I got some Jeff Risden in there as well. Those guys do all the work. I get that work, gather it up, talk about it, report it, and these guys get all the credit though. But let's start off with some injuries. Guys coming back, guys going on those injury lists, the PUP list and the NFI list. Guys that came off it, 3 guys came off it. Offensive lineman Giovanni Manu, the rookie out of University of BC, came off the NFI list. He was a full go in practice. He went today. DB Brian Branch, he was not a full go. He was limited, but he did practice. And outside linebacker, defensive end Marcus Davenport off that PUP list as well. So 2 guys off the PUP, 1 guy off the NFI list. Davenport was also, I think, limited as well. All 3 players practiced, so we like to hear that, and they're kind of easing some guys in. Giovanni was a full go, though, I'm pretty sure. But then 4 players were placed on the NFI list. That's that non-football injury list. So anything could have happened. I don't know what happened to these 4 guys. I could not begin to tell you. Could they maybe have failed a physical? Could they have failed the fitness test? You know, that beat test, it's really hard. Hopefully that's not it. Well, we want these guys to be in shape. Or it could be anything. It could be an accident, working out, any type of, it could be anything. Tweaked an ankle, walking down a set of stairs. It could be anything. So it's non-football related, so it never happened on the Lions facility. So cornerback Carlton Davis, wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones, cornerback Amik Robinson, and wide receiver Traquan Smith, who they brought in a few months back. And then the Lions did end up waiving offensive lineman Matt Farniok, a guard tackle, whatever he is, best known, they played in Dallas for a couple seasons. We did sign a guy too. I got that written down. Offensive guard Ike Bodker, 6'6", 315 guy, 315 pounds. Played offensive. I believe he was a guard. Played for the Buffalo Bills. And I think another team too, but basically depth. You could be hearing about this guy getting released anytime soon, but he does have some starting ability with 17 games under his belt starting, but he's been in the league for a little bit. He's like 28, 29 years old. So he's been basically depth his whole career. And then the one thing that and then rookie offensive guard Christian Mahogany was not at practice at all. Unknown, don't know what was going on with him. I know he missed a little bit of time during spring, during the OTAs and stuff like that too. So we'll find out more about that tomorrow. And then the one that kind of shocked me was Emmanuel Mosley's back, cornerback. From my understanding from a little bit ago, I was thinking that he was going to be out for a long time. You know, he suffered a torn ACL in both legs. He was spotted today playing at the slot mainly. He's mainly an outside cornerback, but he was playing some slot. So great to hear him, Mosley back. It's kind of a little bit of a shock to me because I thought he was going to be out for a bit. So that's great that he's back. And then, you know, it started off with Campbell, with Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn doing those up downs in the house, man, getting down and dirty, doing all kinds of them. And that's what they do, man. They do them with the defense. Campbell gets right in there, Glenn gets right in there, and that's how they started off. And it's just, you know, that's just the show of respect that they love the game and they want to become one with the players. And then even with the players that don't, you know, that are brand new and they see that goes a long way. JMO time, you know, there's a lot to uncover here, guys. Thanks to all these guys. JMO time, he's in a much bigger role this season. Finally, he's wide receiver too. You hear guys like Ifeatu Melifonwu, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's been talking him up for 3-4 years now, but they're saying that, they see the change in him. You can see the change in him physically too. You can see him filling out a little bit more. He's still a skinny kid. He's still tiny, but he looks more developed. He vomited a few times today, though, apparently. He vomited a few times. He said it was a bad breakfast. Didn't like what was going on. That's fine. But he was looking really good. He was looking really good out there. He looked bigger, faster, moved different, more confident, explosive, stronger. There's a reel out there where he splits Terry and Arnold and Ifeatu Melifonwu. I don't really know who's got the cover on him. I'm pretty sure I thought it was Melifonwu up until I saw another video of Arnold saying that he got absolutely toasted by J-Mo. It's actually a pretty funny video. You can find it on social media. You got TikTok, you got Facebook, anything, Instagram, you can probably find it, where he says that J-Mo ran a 4-1 on him, man, and just blew right by him. So it's a pretty funny video, but he blows right by Arnold and Ifeatu Melifonwu, just splits him. And then beautiful pass by Jared Goff, touchdown. Then apparently he vomited after that a few times. I had to go back in. I could probably get some liquid, maybe get an IV. Who knows? But yeah, that's what happened there. J-Mo thrown up, but I guess he looked great. There's another video of J-Mo running a couple routes. He looks a little bit different. It's early, but it looks different. I'll be saying it's early a lot today. And then Hendon Hooker, he had a strong day. I guess he kind of was a little bit up and down at the start of it. Accuracy issues were there at the beginning of his reps, but he settled in. He was looking sharp on some 7-on-7s. He obviously worked on his footwork. You can tell there something he kind of needed to do since those OTAs and the spring training and stuff. But the ball was jumping out of his hands, hitting guys like Darius Fountain and Jalen Calhoun, a couple young wide receivers, getting in some work. So even Khalif Raymond getting in there. Now you got to remember, man, Hooker was hanging out with Teddy Bridgewater. He played for us last year. I think he was living with him at one point, and Teddy's just learning the ropes with him, trying to teach him the ropes. So then they got him and Nate Sudfeld. Sudfeld's still competing with him for that QB2 spot, but Hooker got pretty much all the QB2 reps. Sudfeld got all the QB3 reps, and apparently Sudfeld looked pretty decent too as well. He had a nice deep pass to Jalen Calhoun, beating Gilmore and Vildor. And then Antoine Green did drop a pass right in his hands, though. Rakestraw on the coverage, and then another breakup by Vildor to Kennedy. But he looked pretty good with that third team offense, and that's tough to do. Third team offense, make a lot of mistakes, but Sudfeld looked to be in command. So it is a quarterback competition, but they're giving Hooker every opportunity to win it, as they should. Hutch is out there dominating too as well. I got to remember too. It's no pads. Defensive line are going to have the advantage humongous here because you just can't make a lot of contact. It's just harder. But 3 plays in a row, he just burst through the O-line, beating Sewell on one of them. Apparently put a spin move on Sewell that left him grasping for air. He just didn't even know what the hell was going on, and Hutch got him good. Now St. Brown, didn't hear too much about his play or his practice today, but he was out there. He was out there on the jugs machine after the game, full effect, 202 catches. And then UDFA rookie wide receivers Isaiah Williams and Jalen Calhoun joined him, which is really nice. And then you saw wide receiver Khalif Raymond as well, and then rookie running back Sione Vaikai as well, going out there catching passes, which you love to hear and see. Practice apparently was an hour and a half today, with an increase of 15 minutes a day. And I think by Saturday there's going to be fan attendance. So by then it'll be like 2.5 hours long, and it'll be a nice long practice. Hopefully you get some good weather for the fans. And then there was a lot of shuffling in the secondary going on. Got to remember Carlton Davis, Amik Robinson unavailable, so you saw some shuffling. Rookie cornerbacks Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw Jr. were playing outside cornerback 1 and cornerback 2. A little different for Rakestraw. He's mainly a nickel corner, but he did play outside at Missouri too in college. Emmanuel Mosley, who's mainly an outside guy, did play. He started at the nickel cornerback spot, played a little bit of outside as well too. But that's good too. He wants to learn, he wants to learn both. He was mainly an outside guy as a San Francisco 49er, but he does have a little bit experience inside, but he's going to be learning the ropes here in Detroit. Rakestraw, like I said, he was getting some nickel cornerback reps as well too, which is good. That's his bread and butter. And then, he kicked inside. He kicked inside mainly with the non-starters, so, the second, third team defenses. And then Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph starting at safety. There's been the rumblings and the talks about how Brian Branch is going to move to safety maybe a lot more this year. I'm pretty sure they're going to use him as a weapon. They're going to put him at safety, they're going to put him at nickel, they're going to move him around a lot. So that's a good thing. So that just, when you hear stuff like that, now we're hearing stuff like, okay, Ennis Rakestraw is going to be jumping into nickel, bounces out to safety, Branch comes back in. Now you're going to see Melifonwu coming into safety. So it's just going to be a shuffle. It's going to be a shuffle. This is a good problem to have. Now we have a lot of guys that can play in a lot of spots, and it's going to make it tough for these coaches, which is a good thing. This is what you want. So, Brian Branch talks about him moving back to safety or moving there anyways, back and forth is a real deal now. It's already happened in day one, and he's not even fully healthy. He's not fully healthy. So when he gets fully healthy, you're going to see him moving around a little bit more. But, it's the real talk now. He has moved a little bit to safety, but he's not there entrenched as a safety, but he's there. So Branch was he was playing with the team one there, team one defense, and then no individual or team drills for Brian Branch though. So still kind of dealing with that injury, still rehabbing a little bit. And then Melifonwu getting first team reps as well, like I talked about, with Branch kind of moving up back and forth and stuff like that. So nice to see Iffy, hopefully he can continue from that really good year that he had at the end of the year last year. Then the Sam linebacker talk, we got, they're incorporating the Sam linebacker position a little more. They've been doing it for the last year and a half on this defense. So it continues to get looks. Derek Barnes kind of runs that right now. He's the top guy at the Sam. He also got reps at the Mike and the Will too, with the non-starters. So teams, second team D, third team defenses. So Derek Barnes getting a ton of looks all over the place. James Houston coming in, that Sam linebacker too. He dominated. He looked really good. He was getting into the backfield at will. Just he lived in the backfield. Went in there several times, got in there against the second teamers. And then Matthew Betts, the CFL star that they brought in from the CFL college, the Canadian Football League. He was at Sam linebacker 3. Really not much to report, but he was in there 3. And then apparently Mitchell Agude too was in there as well, playing some Sam linebacker 4. That's a guy that I like a lot. I think he's going to probably end up on, it's early to say, but I think he's going to end up on the practice squad. I kind of hope he does. He's got a little giddy up to the quarterback. He's a smaller guy at 245, 250. Plays that outside linebacker kind of edge defensive end role, but he can get to the quarterback. He's got some skills. He was on the Dolphins practice squad last year. He might even got into a couple games. But it's a guy that I kind of like, but he's got a long road ahead. And then the D-line play. Remember the D-line, like I said, always looks more dominant with no pads on. Hutchinson killing tight ends, looked good against offensive tackles and guards, just doing his thing. Josh Pascal was in the backfield a lot too. Looks like he's worked on his pass rush moves, something that I think this is a big year for Pascal. It's either make or break, I think. And if he doesn't have that year, he could be gone in 2025. And I think he's a good football player. He just needs to show a little more. And then with the defensive tackles, nose tackles, remember DJ Reader is out right now. News on DJ Reader, though, he is fully, I should have said that earlier, he's fully healthy, he's healed up. They're just taking it really easy with him. Got to remember, 30 years old, he's officially off the pup. No, he's still on the pup, sorry. He's still on the pup, but he's healed, but they're not playing him or practicing him right anytime soon. They're just going to take it easy with him, and they're going to make the decision when he's fully ready to go. So they're not just going to mess around with that. They want him to be ready. You know what I mean? So that's good. So Reader's still out, though. Should have said that earlier. McNeil and Broderick Martin getting all the looks, at the defensive tackle, nose tackle spots. in the interior. And then Levi Onwuzurike, another bubble guy that was in there too, on different fronts, different schemes, but he was getting in there playing some defensive tackle. Then John Kaminsky, one of the fan favorites, kind of brought over here a couple years back. He was getting work with the threes. He made a really nice play apparently on a run play where he stuffed somebody. But he is another guy that I kind of call that could be a bubble guy. I like Kaminsky a lot though, but he took a pay cut to stay with the team. He's a guy that wants to remain a Lion, but he did work with the threes, and I'm not concerned that he's going. I just think that he's a bubble player, because I think we got some more talent now. It's going to be a little bit harder for him to make the squad. So he's got a lot of work to do. He's a guy that is a hard worker. I like John Kaminsky a lot, but he's going to have to outproduce a couple guys. And then some more skill players news. Antoine Green was getting, he did have that bad drop, but he's getting looks with guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones out. So, he's working with St. Brown, J-Mo Raymond, working right beside those guys as that number 4. You know what I mean? So, because I think DPJ is either a 3 or a 4, and Antoine Green getting looks with those guys. That's a good sign. The 5th wide receiver, though, was Darius Fountain, and he's looking really good, guys. He impressed during spring camp. He impressed during OTAs. He's making plays. He made a couple plays earlier, too. In that thing, I probably have it written down somewhere. I'll probably get to it. But he was looking really good out there, making some pretty good catches. He's a guy that's really going to push for that 5th wide receiver. Now the running backs, Craig Reynolds was getting the majority of reps as running back 2. Gibbs is kind of still returning from an injury. He had that soft tissue injury. Soft tissue, didn't really explain it too much. When I hear soft tissue, though, I think hamstring. That's basically the first thing I think of when I think of soft tissue. So I think hamstring was probably the deal with him. So they're being extra careful with Gibbs. I don't think he was probably out there doing walkthroughs. He didn't do a whole hell of a lot though. But he was out there a little bit. I know that. Rookie running back, Sione Vaikai, the kid out of Utah. He was getting in the mix as well, too. But he's really going to have to push to get on this. I think he's going to make the roster. I think his special teams are going to be really, that's where we're really going to notice him, is in the special teams unit. But they're going to have to carry like 4 running backs if they put him on the roster. He's a 4th round pick. He's a 4th round pick. He's a guy that he's going to have to push for that RB3 spot. So unless they carry 4 running backs, which they have in the past, they kind of remember bringing Kabinda, as a fullback. I always thought that Sione Vaikai, when we drafted him, and they said they're going to make him a running back, I was thinking fullback. He's not the biggest guy for a fullback. He's like 215 though. I'm not sure how he might have put on a little bit of weight. He's big enough to play fullback. I think he's physical enough. Got to remember he was a safety as well at Utah for 3 years. He was a safety before he was ever a running back. He barely even played running back at Utah. But the Lions loved his skill set as a running back. But he's got that, what's it called? He's got that versatility that Holmes loves. So, but if they're going to carry 4, he's going to be the 4th. He could probably play that fullback position, play a lot of special teams, just like Kabinda did. This team, Campbell's obsessed with the fullback position. They don't really have one on the team right now. But I think Vaikai could be that guy. He's very good catching the ball in the backfield, special teamer, all that stuff. Does everything well, blocks probably like a champion. So we'll see there. That's just kind of my call. In the tight ends, business as usual, nothing really. Laporta was the guy, Brock right there, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think James Mitchell must be back. I know he was a little bit nicked up, but I think he's back now. So that 1 through 3 is kind of set right now. We'll kind of get more of that. Shane Zylstra in the mix too. In the quarterbacks, Goff looked sharp. He didn't look bad at all. A lot of nice balls. Deep ball looked nice. 2 drops, 1 from Laporta, 1 from Antoine Green. It's going to happen. And then Hooker, like I said earlier, had that accuracy issues, but settled in really nicely and had a nice end of the day. O-line, the starters left to right, Decker, Glasgow, Ragnow, Zeitler, and Sewell. Those are your guys right there as your 4. Second team was Dan Skipper, Natane Mutai, Michael Neese, Coyote Alvisica, Colby Sorsdal. Mutai and Iwasika kind of were flip-flopping left and right guards. So it looks like there could be competition there, who they want to find. Sorsdal, it looks like they're setting him up for a bigger role this year. He's backing up Sewell at right tackle is a huge deal. He played that at William and Mary. At William and Mary, he was pretty much a right tackle for 4 seasons in college. He came over here as a rookie and he was instantly playing guard. Played guard, played some left, right, even played a little bit of tackle, but he's mainly a guard as a rookie. It looks like they really want him to learn that right tackle position at the NFL level. But he seems to be the 6th lineman on this team, which means he's the number 1 backup. So he's going to play that role so far right now. Versatile, so you really love that. Third team, they didn't really get into the third team too much the more I read about it, but rookie offensive lineman Giovanni Manu was at left tackle. That was the main thing that they really noticed, the beat writers for the Lions. So Giovanni, full go at left tackle. Then the punting, the special teams work. Jack Fox is the punter. Khalif Raymond as the primary returner, with guys like wide receiver Maurice Alexander backing up Khalif Raymond, and then he even had St. Brown and J-Mo in there catching some punts as well. And then the gunner, Khalil Dorsey, was a starter like last year. Emmanuel Mosley backing him up at the gunner position. And then you saw rookies cornerback Enos Rakestraw Jr. and wide receiver Caden Davis also saw some reps at gunner as well. Now, we ended up with this, guys. Okay, I already said that. The Lions signed Boddicker from the Bills, 6'6", 315. More news. This is kind of where it stops. Calhoun impressed as well. I already said all that, guys. It's over. It's done. It's done. I said everything that I could. All that, I got as much as I could, guys, from about 4, 5, 6 different outlets. And this is what they presented to me, and I'm giving it to you. So I really appreciate guys like John Macaron, Tim Twentyman, Reisman, Schlitt, Justin Rogers, and Jeff Risen for putting out this information so I can get it out to you guys. I appreciate it, guys, really. Day 1, day 2 is tomorrow. I'll get that out to you guys as well whenever I get it. So I really appreciate it, guys. Don't forget, man, hit the subscribe button on that bottom right. Bang, bang, bang. Hit the notification bell up top. Get that ring-a-ding-ding, and just give me a shout out. You know what I mean? We're gonna be doing some things here, guys. We're gonna be doing some things here for this channel. I really want to get into this training camp really, really hard. I appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Let's go. One pride, Detroit Lions. Detroit versus everybody. Back in business. Let's go, guys. Boom.